Thousand Autumns is a Meng Xi Shi novel. This is an audiobook made by fans for other fans. Disclaimer: the main couple of the story is made up of two men. If you don't like it, don't listen. Thank you. Remember, subscribe and click the bell to stay updated on all the new releases. Enjoy. Chapter 86. Zhang Sun Sheng's words were true. Yule pill was really effective. Shen Qiao used two pills for a moment, while regulating circulation of true qi in the body. It was clearing the meridians, activating it and recovering his injury. Even his chest pain was gradually reduced, much like before. It's very difficult to explain like that. Shen Qiao said goodbye to Zhang Sun Sheng and Dou Yi, then took Yuan Song to the horse. In order to help this boy adapted, he deliberately slowed his pace. Then, he looked back. The city of Chang'an stood tall and majestic. It had survived from the war, and still had not fallen. However, over the centuries, personnels and dynasties had changed. Such as the death of an injustice like Yuan Xian, how many people would remember? Dou Yan was held by his father. His eyes looked at them without blinking, and then he said loudly, "Shen Daozang, and Yuan Song, please take care." Shen Qiao smiled at her, but he saw Yuan Song, who sitting in front of him, didn't saying a word. "Don't you want to look at Chang'an again? After we go, we don't know when we will return," Shen Qiao said. Yuan Song just silent for a moment. "This place, with a lot of people, makes me sad. I will only hate myself for being helpless. I can only watch my parents suffer and get wronged." He was younger than Chai Wu, but when he talked he sounded mature. He lost his master at his 15th years old, but still didn't cry. Yuan Song had cried in the Su family house before. This time, although his voice was dull, his tone was clear and fluent. Several times better than the top 15. The children who wanted to come to Wang Ho's family were not the same as him. Look at Dou Yan. At that time, under Shen Qiao's arm, although the situation was extremely dangerous, he didn't struggle because of fear, and it was affecting Shen Qiao's response. Shen Qiao touched his head. "Don't think like this. Your father had the opportunity to retreat secretly, but still chose to stay. He wasn't willing to make your mother and brothers go alone, but he's also the emperor. Even tried to express his innocence and loyalty to the world. Maybe some people don't understand, but you are his son. You must have understood him, haven't you?" Yuan Song, after a while, whispered, "Actually, AUD had already been set up. I wanted to let Anyang wait for the opportunity to leave, but I didn't want to leave AUD alone. My elder brothers, they were all unwilling to leave. Only because I'm young, and forcibly taken away by Uncle Yan. Yes, every life in the world has its own choices. Some people choose to live and hide. Some people are willing to give their lives for the sake of innocence. There is nothing wrong with it. Only in a crisis do you know who your friends really are." With so many people's help behind the emperor, Su family was even willing to come forward and stand up against the emperor. It can be seen that Qi Wang's morals are well known to everyone, and I can't stigmatize anyway. I will be settled by the trust of others. Hey, do you have any relatives that you want to choose? Shen Qiao originally planned to bring Yuan Song directly back to Wuxia sect of Taishan, but when he saw the other party was quite young, he changed his mind and asked his opinions instead of directing his decision. Yuan Song shook his head. All of the relatives of the Yuan family are the royal family. Even if some people are willing to accept, it will inevitably affect them if they are held up. Now, Yuan Yun has killed my father and 3 other high-ranking royal families in succession. He can kill more people to lead. Shen Daozang, wherever you go, I will go, Yuan Song said. Okay, Shen Qiao answered. Let's go to Wuxia sect. Yuan Song asked, where is Wuxia sect? Shen Qiao answered, in Taishan. Yuan Song got interested, is Taishan the head of the 5 mountains? Shen Qiao laughed, it is precisely that Taishan is bounded by mountains, and the air crowns the world. Yongzia sunrise is an absolute must. If you see it with your own eyes, you will not regret it. After all, Yuan Song was young, and his attention was easily diverted even when he was heartbroken. At this time, he couldn't help hearing a bit of despair. Earlier, Yuan was afraid of Yuan Xian's prestige, fearing that there would be many nightmares, then let people surround Qi Wangfu and force Yuan Xiang to hide. Others only relaxed when Yuan Xian didn't want to kill, but no one expected that Yuan Xian would suddenly got trouble. Murong Qin killed his uncle directly. Qi Wangfu's palace was humiliated and he committed suicide directly in front of the angel. When the news came out, the city was shocked and everyone was sorrowing for Yuan Xian. Chen Gong and others made some rumors outside and pointed directly at the emperor. Someone then secretly helped to make the emperor have no time to send someone out of the city to hunt down Shen Qiao and Yuan Song. On the way, Shen Qiao took the boy of Yuan out of Chang'an for a few days. There was no shadow of the chasing troops. As for the people of the Hehuan sect, Shen Qiao killed 2 elders in the other's door in a row, so he became the blood-deep enemy of the Hehuan sect. But actually, even without this, Sang Jinxing was defeated by Shen Qiao, and he was guilty of serious injuries. The quantum has long since settled. For now, being saved temporarily doesn't mean being saved forever. Although Shen Qiao is injured now, he's no longer the same as before. If it's not Sang Jinxing and Yuan Xiaoxiu who will fight him, he can cope with it and protect Yuan Song. So, when he went to Hezhu, he slowed down. Instead of following the closest way to Wuxia sect, he went all the way to the south. He wanted to nourish and bring Yuan Song to relax. In this way, for more than 3 months on the road the two went and stopped, and when they entered the city, they went to find a way to watch and rest. Shen Qiao would take Yuan Song to come along, enjoy the local show or walk through the street and view the market situation. As the so-called life states have their own true meanings, there are many truths in the world. The avenue is 3000, and the change is inseparable from its ancestors. The more Shen Qiao saw, the more transparent his heart was. It is also helpful to practice his swordsmanship. As he had not been betrayed on Xuandu mountain that day, but he rolled around in the red dust. Instead of seeing the shine of the city, he only saw the dust more and more. His sword, which is the long sword with a bright complexion and light, looked like a fairy in the midst of it. Invisibly it made people feel a sense of high purity and abstinence. Yuan Song through these experiences largely relieved the depression and sorrow. Even if he's young, bored over the years, he would only be short-lived and innocent. Shen Qiao had good intentions. He walked around in order to let him see more and think more. To open his mind and broaden his horizons. It's good to Daozang that you happen to be here. Today is Huang Gong's 60th birthday. I'm going to celebrate the longevity of urban and rural gentlemen. If you want to go up, you might as well wait until tomorrow, but you will miss the birthday feast. It's a pity. When they came to Runan, Shen Qiao took Yuan Song to enter the guest house. When the 2 men saw that they were foreigners, they introduced them. Huang Gong. Shen Qiao naturally could not judge the identity of the other side from these 2 words. Yes, Huang Gong's name is a secret, it's the famous person in the city. It is said that whether in Shounen or on the Jianghu, he has a good reputation. I can't say so many words, but Huang Gong's reputation in the city is indeed like Lei Guan'er, his old man is extremely hospitable. He can go in for a glass of water and wine without being invited. It is said that Yuqin Master Du Gong will sing a song to celebrate his birthday. Many people have heard of it. You can also wash your ears. The man said endlessly. Shen Qiao recalled the 3 words of Huang Zidao. He seemed to have heard from Yan Wushi. The other party was said to be from the Runan family, proficient in music, and also quite accomplished in martial arts. The first half of the Jianghu. Those who are slightly lower in martial arts do not enter the eyes of Yan Wushi. The reason for mentioning him is that this person can evolve the melody into the spirit of killing, and can also play the sound of harmony to attract the 100 birds to stop. The mirror zone of Guang Lingsan has some things in common, although Huang Zidao's martial arts are not as good as Guang Lingsan, the rhythm may be inferior. Therefore, when Yan Wushi said about Guang Lingsan, he also mentioned Huang Zidao slightly. As soon as Yuan Song's eyes brightened, he tugged at the corner of Shen Qiao's clothes. When he bent down, he quietly said, "I have seen Yuqin Master. That is called Du Yan, who once entered the palace to perform, and indeed there is a song around a beam. 3 days of endless achievements. Do you want to listen?" Shen Qiao asked. Yuan Song cheered, "Can we?" Shen Qiao smiled slightly. Of course. Since Huang Gong is hospitable, he won't care even if we are 2 uninvited guests. This place is not far from Huangfu. When the 2 got there, a man in a steward suit was standing at the door and personally welcoming guests. When the other party saw Shen Qiao come with Yuan Boy, they asked for his name as usual. To avoid trouble, Shen Qiao hidden his real name, down in the mountains, Qiao Zi, Yu Fang Daoist. I heard about Huang Gong's birthday, so I came here to congratulate him. It was rude to be empty-handed, so he bought a gift on the way. At this time, Yuan Song gave it with his hands. This gift was not caught by the steward's eyes. Today, most of the Huang family are people who come to eat and drink, but Huang Master has a great career and doesn't care about the number of people. He only divides people into groups according to their status. Several places for Jianghu people to have Jianghu people's seats, celebrities also have celebrities' seats. The Huangfu steward saw a lot of people and them. He had already trained his eyes, and when he saw a long bag on his back, which looked like a weapon, he was more careful. "Dare to ask what is this, Daozang?" asked the steward. Shen Qiao shook his head. "It is not a weapon, I am not a man in the Jianghu." Because of his excellent manner, the steward naturally did not dare to classify him as an ordinary person. He also saw the boy, Yuan Song, who was also handsome and calm. Now, he has led them to the seat of the celebrity. Shen Qiao and everyone in the party did not know each other, but he had a gentle temperament and was amiable. When others saw his attitude, he inevitably showed about the illusions of the Taoist door. In a short time, Shen Qiao was already familiar with the left and right. There is some fame in Shounen, and today it is also for Du Yan of Yuqin Master to perform. It is highly praised among words. The guests also came together. The host family went elsewhere to greet the guests. The crowds talked to each other and connected their feelings. The atmosphere was warm, but a bit noisy. Yuan Song's enjoying the music, with a serious look. Shen Qiao looked up inadvertently, but he glanced at a familiar figure. He was so familiar that he couldn't help but snorted. End of the chapter. Stay tuned for more BL.